Good afternoon, everybody. I am Marnik Smets, the manager of Pinakes, and I'm happy to present to you in 20 minutes the implementation that we have and are doing with our partner ASP in the group. So I'm the manager of Pinakes, but in fact the group consists next to Pinakes also of ASP. I will tell you in a minute what this is about, and Politeia. So what we have done and are doing is merging three related but nevertheless distinct businesses into one single Odoo database. So together with ASP, we are implementing Odoo first of all in Pinakes, of which I'm the manager. Pinakes, not to make too much publicity, but that you understand what this is about. Pinakes is a database with contact data to the public sector. So we collect all data of the communes, of the parliaments, of the libraries, all public organizations that we have in Belgium and also in Luxembourg. And we share and sell also these data to all businesses that, and organizations that want to communicate with the public sector. One small example, we are here in an IT environment, so if you want to present your company to all the deputies in the 582 communes in Belgium responsible for ICT, we can provide you very quickly an up-to-date list that you can use to present your business in the communes. Only one example of many. A second company that's also involved in this Odoo implementation is ASP, Academic and Scientific Publishers. So this is not a database, this is something else. This is a publisher. A very niche publisher. I'm talking in the place of the manager of ASP, but mainly towards university, scientific, very narrow, specific publications, and also, for instance, doctorates. If you are a student and you are doing your doctorate, so that are examples that this company is providing. For that implementation, I present the companies from simple basically to more complex. So Pinakes, this is a very procedure-oriented company, change offer to order and deliver the product, all very standardized, organized. Academic and scientific publishers is already more complex because you have stock, the books that are somewhere need to be picked up and so on. So more complex, but still generic, I would say. And then the biggest also of these three companies, and the last one is Politeia, which is also a publisher, but specialized in public sector publications. That's the red wire basically between Pinakes and Politeia, the public sector. And they are doing many publications on very public sector specific topics, webinars, etc. And we are all in the same building. Okay, so what are the drivers based on which we decided to go for Odoo in these three companies? So we are going to consolidate three companies in one Odoo, and yeah, as always, at a certain point in time, I think 2 years ago, we came really to the conclusion that the existing ERP system, which was also active in these three companies, was really end of life, absolutely not user-friendly. The contact database was a complete mess. And you have to imagine that many clients of Pinakes also pop up in Politeia mainly, but then a different contact person, sometimes a different address, but still the same company. So this went completely wrong in this unified contact database. No automated processes, so very manually. Printing documents, giving those documents to accounting, etc. Also no decent invoice tracking, no rappel process to follow up invoices, etc. Very high error rate, and then of course also this was a local implemented solution, no cloud environment. So after some investigation, we came to the Odoo solution, where most of the objectives, most of the disadvantages that I just explained were simply solved. So it's of course a cloud application. Odoo, I'm going bottom up now a bit. Odoo is end-to-end processing, from sales to offer to invoice to credit management, maximally automated, and then very important, a centralized contact database where we, of course, did put a lot of effort in data cleaning, and when we had done that, we could start from scratch with a shared contact database for the 3 companies, but still in a Chinese wall principle. It's a user-friendly application. We are tailoring only where mandatory. And that for me personally was an important driver, of course. So when you go from an old system into a new one, you have the opportunity to question all existing procedures and to implement in the company a culture to simplify things, to throw away all these habits basically that are no longer necessary, and to take a new start from zero in a pure and simple and good working environment. So it's a multi-company implementation, but still, this Chinese wall idea is very important. So for instance, me as a manager of Pinakes, when I log in to Pinakes, I don't see, of course, the data of ASP and Politeia, but in accounting, they have access to the whole view, of course, and they have indeed such a screen as you can see there. Problems we had internally a bit, so we are talking about 3 very small SMEs. There is no overhead. There are, each person has too much work. I'm not complaining, but so there is no space simply to appoint, let's say, for instance, a change manager that will accompany this whole implementation and spend a lot of full time on such a task, which actually should be mandatory in such cases. But of course, we asked actually the people from ASE to take that role also. On the other hand, some people were shifted in the company on a group level, let's say, that take care now to add it on their regular tasks, of course, for, let's say, the group implementation of the Odoo application. Another barrier, I explained this already, was this lack of any decent and qualitative client centralized database. And then, because we went through an upgrade once already to version 16, and I understand that we are slowly talking and thinking about version 17. we have not enough people to test up front. So what we say is we trusted the people from ASA and we simply jump in production into version 16, which created some fog in the beginning, some questions and minor problems, but we found out that, yeah, you need to parameterize certain elements that we did in the office again. And so we learned basically already there what it could mean if we go to version 17. Okay, on the next slide, I show you a few core business processes. Maybe not really readable, but okay, so the first left up is the offers that we make in a very automated way, thanks to Odoo. Left bottom is the abonnees, because Pinakes works also with abonnees, and instead of reinventing every year again that offer basically and sending again, so we have now, thanks to Odoo, a kind of abonnee structure where automatically this invoicing is prolonged year to year. So this is of course an enormous advantage. Right up, you see a screen of our colleagues of ASP, which is basically the stock view and the amounts of books that they still have in stock. Stock is being held at an external party. In our case, this is Manufast. And there is, of course, an FTP communication that you see right down between ASP and also Politeia in the future and Manufast on stock. So this is not an online communication, this is in batch once a day. Okay, how did we organize this implementation? We did this in a sequential way. So we started with the simplest company, which is Pinakes. We had workshops with the people of Odoo. We tried to avoid all tailor-made developments as much as possible. And then basically through the classical path of a delta analysis, delta development and data migration, always important, testing in a minimal way and go live. We did this very speedy basically for Pinakes. Then, and I pointed already to that, we had this Odoo version 16 implementation, which created minor problems, but this was solved quickly. And now, today, the people of ASE, together with those two group-level employees that are doing this together with ASE, are implementing ASP. This is in far progress. And I know that we are already doing things for Politeia as well, but let's say that Politeia will be formally implemented in the coming period. But again, I think when we look back to the project, that it was a clever move, in all modesty, to start with the simplest company and then to start elaborating on this experience to more complex processes, ASP a bit more complicated, but still generic, Politeia, which needs, they have a lot of complex clients, demands, complex abonnees also. So there is a lot of tailoring needed, but again, it will be limited to the minimum. This is my story on how we are working together with our good partner is on the implementation of Odoo.
Are there any questions? We can go to the pad, or because the group isn't that big, we can just ask them face to face. Go ahead. You can scan the QR code. Go ahead.
If you would have to do it again, Marnix, what would you do differently?
Yeah, not the sequence, as I explained, was a clever move looking back to the project. Yeah, I was very worried in the beginning on this whole what we call change management component, because Odoo is a complete rupture with the way we worked in the past. And of course, we are talking here with highly intelligent, if I can say so, editors who have really no time to think on simplifying procedures. They expect on the one hand that other people do that. Those other people are not present in such a small company. So there I think with Gunther and all of the people of ESE, you also, we did a good job to bring this awareness, to cancel everything that is no longer necessary, to simplify as maximal as possible. So I would, to answer your question, because as I explained, today we have such a structure, two people that are able to internalize these changes. But if I would have to choose, I would have done that from the very start of the whole project, so that from the beginning there was no unrest in the company, a lot of questions, a lot of maybe irony and sarcasm on this whole project. So that's my answer.
Change is scary. Yes, sir.
Yes, I would like to have your view on the multi-company side. So imagine before you had 3 different accounting systems, now you have this multi-company.
Yes.
How do you appreciate, how do you evaluate that feature in your companies?
Yeah, of course, I'm the manager of one of the 3 companies, and that's the good thing about Odoo. Only the flow of Pinakes is visible for me, end to end, from offer to accounting. But of course, there is a small accounting unit that has a view on the 3 companies itself. You know what I think the nice thing about it is that in the past, before Odoo, I considered myself to be not a bookkeeper at all. And thanks to this application, you also are confronted with it. Somehow, it's presented in an understandable way. And in all modesty, I have now also understanding of how many open invoices we still have, how to manage that, how to follow this up, how to make a credit invoice. That were tasks that were typically done before by accounting. And this is also a way to run away from responsibility as a manager. And now Odoo brings this closer to you, and you are more aware about the end-to-end processing from offer, including invoicing and credit noting and everything that comes to that, thanks to Odoo.
Brilliant. Thank you. Okay. Any more questions? Good. I think we can wrap it up then. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
My pleasure.